Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Astrological Intentions. I'm your host, Alex Reevy, along with the planetary popsicle ear, Sandy Reevy. Say hi.
It sounds like I have a popsicle ear.
Yes, you are.
Like an earring, maybe. I don't wear earrings.
And it is episode 148, May 24th. Let's get right into it. We have in the transits Wednesday, May 26th, the full moon in Sagittarius.
Total lunar eclipse, the first one of the year. Hello, eclipse season.
Thursday, May 27th, Venus square Neptune.
What are you not seeing?
And Sandy's astrological interesting day, Saturday, May 29th, Mercury stations and is conjunct with Venus.
Who gets the golden apple?
And Mercury retrograde.
What's the last message?
And Talisman time, Sandy has finished up to have honor and wealth bestowed upon me and to be fierce and gentle. Then upcoming is to be announced, everybody. Then on the horizon, Sandy and I are going to discuss all of the upcoming really exciting events that we have. We have a Talisman workshop, our astrology forecast, as well as a trunk show and a raffle. Then in our house, Sandy and I are finishing up a weekend with my boyfriend's family in town, so listen in and hear about the fun. So stay tuned for this episode of Astrological Intentions. And the search ends here, where the night is totally clear, and your heart is fierce, and so you finally know you control where you go. All right, planetary popsicle ear. I had to make up that word.
I know.
I don't even know if it's real.
I know what that's about now, and I called it a strawberry popsicle.
bar?
And when I got to it, it was a watermelon popsicle, and the girls were like, "You said strawberry." I was like, "Oh my gosh, kid, I just really remember the box being red," thinking it was strawberry. And I'm like, so we had to sing Watermelon Sugar High so that they liked the idea of eating a watermelon popsicle.
I'm
not
glad
the
you got creative with it.
strawberry one. I don't even think you know the rest of that story.
I don't, so
Yeah.
you're going to tell me in our house. So welcome in, everyone, for another Astrological Intention episode. I want to go direct to all of you listeners, say thank you again. I'll probably just thank you every single episode. Gratitude is key. So I wanted to go direct to you with a message from Lynn P. She says, I wanted to let the world know how much I appreciate my monthly readings with Sandy. After 2 years of annual readings and listening to the weekly podcasts, I said, I'm not dabbling in this astrology stuff anymore. I'm diving in. I started monthly sessions with Sandy, a great way to get in the know of my astrological chart. It's been 3 months here, and what I have learned so far is there's so much more to learn about what is happening behind the scenes in our lives. Sandy is an incredible guide and teacher, and life has become more fun than ever before. I want to shout out from the rooftops, hey humans, call Sandy and get monthly readings to start having some fun, or at least some awareness of what is truly happening, instead of believing the dogma or what our lower self wants to believe and focus on. Hashtag fun life with astrology. Peace and love. Blessings. Lynn.
Thanks, Lynn. Scream from the rooftops.
Yeah.
I like that. And actually, I think we have a waiting list.
There is a waiting list. So anyone that wants to get on the waiting list, of course, email me, alex@intentionbeads.com. And this is for the monthly readings. Also, if you wanted to, you could get a one-on-one reading with Sandy
Anytime.
from our scheduler anytime. But if you wanted to get into these monthly readings, you get so many benefits with it.
Yeah. Any of the subscriptions, the quarterlies or the monthlies,
Right.
are on waiting list now.
You get discounted readings. You get locked into that price. You get your recording sent to you. It's really wonderful. So let's see. Let's move into the transits. This week is a pretty light week, but it has it has an Astro-Interesting day in there.
It's what we only have a handful of things to talk about. However, they're powerful.
Ooh, well, we like that too. Good things come in tiny packages. So Wednesday, May 26th, the full moon in Sagittarius.
So yeah, 5 degrees of Sagittarius, and this is the total lunar eclipse. And I want to make the note here in Chicago, it's at 6:14 a.m. 6:14 a.m. So, this is in the morning, and for you on the West Coast, this would be 4:14 a.m. and you're actually going to see it.
Ooh.
Anyone in that Pacific North American area. Okay, let's talk about that. A lunar eclipse is when the Earth moves between the sun and the moon. And of course, it's a full moon. So we got the sun is over here at 5 degrees of Gemini, making that aspect of opposition to the moon at 5 degrees Sagittarius. Is a full moon. Mm-hmm. But what makes it the lunar eclipse, other than, yes, the lunar nodes are nearby. They're even closer for the total. But it's the Earth that gets between the sun and the moon. And so the light of the sun gets completely... you can't see the light of the moon because the Earth is perfectly centered. And this is going to be one of the Ring of Fires, the annular eclipses. Now, we're getting up early anyway because we're doing a constellation bracelet at 6:14 a.m. exactly when it's happening. Mm-hmm. But this will last for about 14 minutes and 30 seconds, according to the NASA's website. And you can get all this information, from nasa.com. So the total duration is 14 and a half minutes, which equates to 14 and a half months. So that this eclipse will be in effect for 14 and a half months. Now, I want to read, well, first of all, before I read from Bernadette Brady's book, who I consider the queen of eclipses, is that the ruler of the moon, so if the moon is in Sagittarius, what would the ruler of Sagittarius be? Jupiter. And Jupiter, remember, is in his good sign of Pisces. He just moved he'll be at 1 degrees of Pisces. So he'll be within this square connection of the sun and the moon. So the sun and the moon in the opposition, and this Jupiter making this kind of like a T-square mm-hmm. to this placement, to me says this plan is possible. It's like we can get through this eye of the needle. So now I'm going to read from Bernadette Brady's book. It's called Predictive Astrology, The Eagle and the Lark. You've seen me hold it up on all the Zoom calls or any time that we go into anything to do with fixed star work or the eclipses. This is what she says about this Zero cycle. And the Zero cycle for this one is Zero cycle 121. They're all numbered. So I want to read just a very quick couple lines here. A very unusual Zero series involving sudden flashes of ideas that seem to have a psychic or unconscious flavor to them. Hunches, visions, and prophetic dreams are the essence of this family of eclipses. A truly creative series which should leave the individual enriched. The ideas or hunches which come from this eclipse can be acted upon. So whatever these brilliant flashes, or we don't understand flashes because there might be way different than we would have expected something for ourselves. Mm-hmm. When these what she's calling the unconscious flavor of the psychic hits, if you will, hunches, visions, dreams, and these creative thoughts can be worked and acted upon. So write down, this is a really good time to write, the sun is in Gemini, the writer.
Right.
And the moon is in Sagittarius, the dream bigger, right? Mm-hmm. And the ruler of the moon is making that square angle, and we'll take a square angle from Jupiter anytime.
Okay.
Anytime.
And so that's another reason why you named this transit, this plan is possible.
Yeah, I believe it's possible. We watch for these lunar eclipses, and then 2 weeks later we'll get the solar eclipse. We're in this body of this 4-week period of the eclipse season, and eclipses are always paired, and they're always about letting go to include something on the other side, but we have to make room. So that's this plan is possible. So don't doubt the
visions,
the idea or the visions.
Big pictures.
Don't doubt that. Now, they may not come into actuality immediately because we have that 14 and a half month aspect to this. So it doesn't mean to have this, write it down and think about it, or put it away and not work on it for, year plus time. It means it may not come to fruition because Jupiter will go back into Aquarius, come back into Pisces. Mm-hmm. So this is again why I'm holding a Talisman workshop with this Jupiter in Pisces,
right?
Because we're in this eclipse period, and it's really powerful. A good time to slow down and eliminate something from your system to gain something new. What is your vision? What is that? And can I just read? Is this a bad time for me to read that intention I have set for the Jupiter?
It's a perfect time.
Okay. The Jupiter in Pisces Talisman ceremony that we're sign up. It's on Thursday evening, and you're going to want to sign up early as possible, like as soon as you hear this. Put us on pause and sign up, because I have to get pages of personal information to you in your email box so that you can print them out and you have the dates that will last for a year and a half. Okay?
Right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But the intention to this talisman is to renew hope and enthusiasm for a spiritual and creative vision.
Yes.
Don't miss out. Don't miss out.
Because it also correlates with these eclipses as well.
Yep.
So Thursday, May 27th, we have Venus square Neptune.
And this is, what are you not seeing? This, Venus square Neptune. These two guys, well, she and he like to hang out together because Venus actually is exalted in Pisces, where Neptune is currently, and where it's considered Neptune is considered the modern ruler of Pisces. We know Jupiter is, because I do both, traditional
modern
and
traditional.
Traditional. We'll see where I fall in the years ahead. But there's no hard stop commitment today. Please wait until tomorrow. It's okay to consider, though, because it's just like, what are you not seeing? What is a little bit foggy here? There's like a fog has come in. It's not clear and bright and sunny, and it's like, yeah, bam, yeah, aha. Like, it's not that. But if we've talked about the day before with the full moon, and talking about hits and visions, right? This could be part of it. What don't you believe? Right? Like, what are you not seeing? Let's just, like, being in the fog is okay. As long as we don't have to sign any hard deals. Hopefully no one's getting married on Thursday, the 27th of May. And if you are, you've probably considered it for a long time. But this is, wait until this passage of Venus gets out of this harder aspect.
Okay.
So that something can clear up for you, and that you're not in a misunderstanding or a disappointing situation.
Okay. And the next day is your Astro-Interesting day. And you pick these out throughout the year or at least the month. What is really this crucial, newsworthy, noteworthy dates? And Saturday, May 29th is your Astro-Interesting day. So there's a lot happening. There's 2 transits happening that have to do with Mercury. The first is Mercury stationing, also conjuncting Venus. And you're naming this, who gets the golden apple?
This is a longer story. It's a myth about the golden apple. We've all heard about the golden apple. But they both, Mercury's faster often than Venus. They both go around. Mercury, goes around the whole chart in 1 year's time, but retrogrades 3 times in that.
Right.
So he's a quicker moving guy because he has to go backwards a couple times, where Venus will only go backwards once every 18 months. Mm-hmm. And so they hang out here for a longer period than normal because the Mercury is stationing over the last few days, and it doesn't start to move for another week because it's in the stationary for retrograde later that day, and literally about 5 hours later. So there's a myth about the 3 beauties are all waiting for an answer. And here's Venus, and Venus is in Mercury's sign, Gemini, right?
Right.
And it's like Hera, Queen Hera, Aphrodite, and Athena are all at the beckon, waiting to hear who gets the golden apple. And it's this, Mercury is asked to take this golden apple to the prince to ask him. He has to decide who gets the golden apple.
Out of the 3 beauties.
Out of these 3 beauties, Hera, Aphrodite, and Athena. And so interesting that this, and the story gets longer and longer because it was just really about a marriage between the king of Pythia, who married the sea nymph Theus, and which led to the Trojan War, which I just finished that book Achilles for the 2nd or 3rd time, which I highly recommend, by the way, if you like mythology. And so the god of discord was not invited to the wedding. This was the goddess Eris, was not invited to the wedding. So at the festival, at the banquet of the wedding, she tossed an apple, and it said on the apple, she tossed it onto the table, and it said, "To the fairest one." So this now holds this immortality power over prosperity. So because it says to the fairest, Aphrodite thinks she's the fairest, Hera thinks she's the fairest, and Athena thinks she's the fairest. So Zeus did not want to get involved. So he sent Hermes, Mercury, with the 3 goddesses to Paris of Troy, where each one promised the prince an offering in exchange for the golden apple. So what do you think Hera offered? "Please, I will receive the apple, and in exchange, I will give you marriage and family."
Okay.
A happy
I
marriage
don't know much
and
about
family.
Hera, though.
And Athena, who is the goddess of wisdom and justice, right? She was the goddess of virginity, right, as well. And she promised wisdom and justice. And Aphrodite promised the most beautiful wife in the world, beauty and love. So the judgment of Paris, which this is a Troy prince that is immortal, that had to, actually, it gets even longer because he was a shepherd boy, and he didn't even know he was a prince until a certain time when he had to find the shoes and the sword his father buried under a stone, and then he was known, then he knew he was a prince. But guess who so Hera promised to make him king of Europe and Asia. Athena promised him wisdom and skill in war. And Aphrodite promised him the most beautiful woman in the world, Helen, this is Helen of Troy.
Okay.
Who started the Trojan War, right? And guess who got the apple?
Aphrodite.
But it was the apple of discord.
Right.
And that's why this became the 10-year Trojan War.
Right. That hostility, that,
that anger, that
Right.
discord. So anyway, I just say that because I like mythology. I like storylines. Sorry if I chopped it up a little bit. It's hard to remember. And that's why I call this an Astro-Interesting day, because they meet up. And it's like Mercury has invited Venus to his land, to his home, into Gemini. Mm-hmm. There's a message exchanged, and they hang out for a period of time, literally the most that they've ever hung out, because he stopped here. She continues forward and he goes backwards. So what is this communication?
It's kind of very discordy,
right?
In my opinion.
Right. So it's also, but I think it's good. I think this, all Mercury retrogrades kind of get a bad rap. I don't mind this one because it's meeting up with Venus and it's in its own sign. It stays a little bit longer than his regular 21 days. He stays here for about 25 days. So it's like delivering messages. What do you need to know that Venus is giving you? This Aphrodite energy is giving you. And it's so funny because I think I want to do some new photo shoots. I haven't even told you, with my new Aphrodite look.
Oh, interesting.
That I wore out again Friday night. Let me hear your first thought on that. Is that your stomach growling?
Yeah.
Was that an internal no?
I think, yes. My spleen says no.
Oh, gosh. Oh, I really enjoy that. I really think that I was going to bring that Venus that I have at the midheaven in Taurus really to my career and be that Aphrodite. I've got the hair for it and everything.
Well, you do. Well, we'll discuss later.
Yeah, I think I should.
So,
okay. But anyway, it's this, what is this message that she is providing to him that he has to go backwards and give to the sun? Mm-hmm. Is it something about who holds the golden apple? Maybe Venus doesn't want it anymore. I don't know.
Interesting.
We'll see.
So the next transit, same day, Mercury Retrograde. And we all know Mercury Retrograde. This is happening until June 22nd. And you named this The Last Message.
Yeah, because of what that story I just told 5 hours earlier. This happens, all in the same kind of combination. So
5 hours earlier.
Yeah, it's 5 hours. One is the time that Venus comes up and meets.
I thought you were making a joke, like your story took 5 hours. Oh. Okay, go on.
No, it could take a while for Venus to tell Mercury or Mercury to tell Venus and to have that exchange of conversation. And then Mercury has to go backwards, but Venus goes on. Mm-hmm. I just find that's like they chat way longer and then they both move in opposite directions.
Right.
So I find, I don't think it's discord, but I think it's Venus has to, needs a message to go back to the sun, because she won't meet with the sun until January of next year anyway. So, Mercury will retrograde here at 24 degrees of Gemini and go all the way back to 16 degrees of Gemini. So, that's a period of time to, pause, review, redo. I have some folks that I talk about that are writers or intuitives even. Anybody that's journaling can do this. Anybody that is a writer. It's not so much about moving forward in your writing. It's about reading what you've written and developing that. Is that exactly what you wanted to say? Like maybe using some of this full moon lunar eclipse energy by going back and, editing something that you've already written, or the plan that you've already planned, or marketing tools, or sales,
or even that vision
marketing
you had before.
Yeah. So, it's just a time to, review, hang out. But, do you need rest?
Right.
And do you need rest? So, and this is till June 22nd.
Right. And I think that this week is really exciting because these are very meaningful transits. There's a lot behind them. There's a lot going on. It is light in the amount of how many transits we have, but this is going to be kind of interesting, I think. So let's move into the talisman times that you finished. The first to have honor and wealth bestowed upon me has found its owner.
It did. It was a pre-sale. And we had the moon making a really nice sextile to Venus. And Venus was up on the midheaven on the fixed star Aldebaran. And so to have honor and wealth bestowed on me. I get to where I want to go by attracting favor from those in power. I gain easily by simply requesting my intent. This creates victory and popular appeal. Right, this is Venus at the midheaven.
Where she likes to be, right?
Where
in the
she
spotlight.
likes to be, right on Aldebaran, which is really about honor and authority, like kings and important people, and asking for their honors.
And so the other talisman that you finished up was the same day, Monday, May 17th, to be both fierce and gentle. I love, love, love this one.
Yeah, my skills are delivered to the world wrapped in beautiful cloth, soft-spoken words, and queen-like adornment. I capture those who turn to look. And this is, again, too, the moon making this aspect, because these were like boom, boom.
Right.
Like, and we had the north node here along with on Aldebaran. And of the two, I like all my talismans, but this one particularly I put on my on the website as Sandy's favorite in a rare transit.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. I put this one up here because the sun is, up here as well in the 9th house. I just really like this piece. We got the moon in the 11th house, which is a really nice place to have a talismanic moon. 11th house is good spirit house.
Right.
Yeah.
And so the upcoming talismans that you have were going to be announced on Instagram. It has been a busy week for us and will continue to be this upcoming week. So make sure to follow us on Instagram so that you know when Sandy has her talismans that she's going to be making. Yeah. And also don't forget that the orbit of the month is I Explore Places Unknown. This is the last week you can receive that for the free shipping. Let's move on to the horizon. May 27th, we have our Jupiter in Pisces. That's happening Thursday, everybody.
In a couple days.
Yes. So pretty much the day that this comes out, you need to get signed up for this event. If not, there is another date on June 20th that you can join. However, it is going to be early morning, so just be prepared with that difference.
And let's just talk about that right now.
Sure.
And Thursday, in a few days, the 27th of May, is at 7:39 p.m. This is Chicago time. So this will let go about 2 hours, maybe 2.5. And the one that we're doing, and that's the same day of the summer solstice, and Jupiter's making his retrograde station on that day. So it's right before he goes retrograde, but he's slowed down. He is turning. He's pivoting. So I wanted to get that second option if you wanted to come in on that. Now, some clients that I've talked to that have a 2-degree Pisces or a 2-degree any water sign, or a Pisces rising, or Pisces at the midheaven, or any planets in Pisces around that 2 to 3 to 4 degrees, to sign up for that particular day.
Okay.
But that is at 5:24 a.m. Chicago time. So if you're on the West Coast, you're talking about 3:24 a.m. That's a bit early to wake up, but this is really for the European
That's how this
folks.
universe works. We're going with the universal clock. We're not necessarily going with our waking clock. So Also, May 29th, we have our June astrology forecast. Now, this is what you know on Facebook Live. Make sure to click that link. It is a free event where Sandy and Susan give you lots of dates, why they love them, why they might be a little bit more challenging. And you can really engage there, ask your questions, get some clarifying messages, mainly the generic questions, not any personal questions. Then we also have June 9th, and this is the announcement for the solar eclipse, correct? The solar eclipse webinar.
The webinar that Susan and I are doing,
Yes.
Susan Goodell. This is the Chatting with the Stars. And it's at 5:30 on Wednesday. You know, we were doing them last year every month, the second Wednesday of every month. And we've taught a lot of, you know, like Mercury Retrograde. We already done that. We didn't have to do it again. So this is this particular solar eclipse. This is $25. Sign up for it. Is it up yet, or will be?
It will be. The link is coming soon. So let's move on. June 16th, we have our Talisman trunk show and raffle. That's open to everybody. If you want to join, make sure to get at least one of the raffle tickets, and that's going to get you purchase a raffle ticket for $10. That's going to get you a $10 gift certificate. And the good news is that you can double your probability. You can triple it and just get as many raffle tickets as you'd like. And we are going to be raffling off a talisman of your choice.
Yeah.
You get to choose it. You can also talk to Sandy a little bit and figure out which one is going to be perfect for you. During that trunk show, we are going to be opening up the current talismans that we have. So if you have been interested and have been thinking about getting your own talisman, this is a wonderful event because you really get to see and hear so much more about Sandy's process and what has really been the crucial moment for her, or the purpose of that specific talisman. We'll go into showing you the colors, the colors of crystals, and it really adds to the value and the information that you get about the talismans. So we'd love for you to join us. That is available. Just purchase that raffle ticket. You will get a direct email to you with the login links and everything.
It's really cool because when Alex came up with this about a year or so ago, and I was like, I don't know if that's going to work. Wow, did it work? Mm-hmm. We're on for an hour. So we really kind of bust through. It's like we're doing a show. Right. It's like I have all our talismans set up. You've got a camera going on with some black velvet, and yes, we show, and you're adding things in the chat box, and you're asking questions. You want to, is there anything about, love relationships or career changes or, health? You could be asking any of those questions. So you may even want to go on to intentionbeats.com
and browse around
and, maybe make some, a little collection that you can ask me about, and I can go into the energy, with you on the
trunk show.
On the trunk show Zoom.
Yes.
Yeah. On that thing.
So I'll also just quick remind everyone, June 20th at the 5:25 a.m. mark, that's the Jupiter and Pisces Talisman Workshop again. And that's as far as we're going in this podcast today with On the Horizon. So let's move into our house. We have just finished up a weekend with my boyfriend's family who was in town. So we just wanted to recap and just share a little bit of the fun that you had. Mainly, let's start with the popsicle-ear little story.
I haven't been to the beach for a full-out, load up what you don't think you need.
Or everything that you think you could possibly need.
But then you forget some things, and somebody had to go back and get speakers and a lighter to start the
crucial things, yeah. Crucial items.
But just to set up, tent and rugs and 12 chairs and the food and the drinks and the ice and the coolers, just like everything, and then the playthings for the girls.
Oh yeah,
we got a 5-year-old.
We had bubbles. We had frisbees. We had costumes. We
had to keep them busy. And of course we had the natural, the lake, the
we
water.
had a 10-year-old and a 5-year-old, and they are so cute and so energetic. And if you give them an inkling of something, you will get 90 questions about it.
And I've never met them
No, you
person
hadn't
before. And
right.
they stayed at our house with their mother. And this was the girl house.
It was so much fun. We had so many activities planned for them. We used essential oils to make lotions and room sprays. You did coloring with them in the morning.
Taught them mandala coloring.
You showed them some incense. They did the deerskin drum that you have. They did the djembe drum. And so it was just, being these two tiny young girls being at the house was so cute and energetic.
And it was like, you know what? I guess I do kind of have a fun house, because it's like the older I get, the more like less fun I have in my house, because I love working. That's my fun. And just to realize like, oh, we could color. And they wanted to put the sand timer on, and every time the sand timer ran out, the hourglass ran out, we would get more
a new
color.
Yeah.
And we really engaged in some makeup stories. But the popsicle thing, there was a popsicle guy with his little popsicle, rolling cart.
Yeah.
And somebody went and bought one popsicle for 2 girls. And it didn't go over very well.
Dun. Right.
It was a very hot day. It was like 88 degrees here yesterday. And oh my God, the girls were like crying and sad because they had to share and it wasn't working. So I knew I had these, what I thought were strawberry fruit bars in my freezer. Because I thought, I don't know, what do I buy little girls anymore? I'm going to buy these little, fruit bars.
Right.
So I said, when you guys get home and you get a shower, we'll go up onto the rooftop and we have strawberry popsicles that I called them popsicles. Right. Because fruit bars didn't probably sound good to them.
Like, what?
Well, if it wasn't 1,700 questions around when are we, like it's not dark yet.
Are we going
like
yet?
When are we going? Are we still going to have the strawberry
We had
popsicle?
bubbles, a slack line. We had food. We had a tiramisu dessert. We had everything. Yet these girls were so excited to go get the popsicle on the roof that we couldn't have left soon enough.
But by the time we got there and they got their showers, it's like 9:30 and it's like, I'm tired. And we're on the way home and it's like 100th question.
Right.
And I turned around to one of them, the 5-year-old. Not mean, but like, I have told you 100 times, yes, we are having the strawberry popsicle on the deck when we get home. It's like, I know I'm repeating this a lot, but folks, I heard it 100 times the other day, yesterday. So she asked me one more time, and I said, if you ask me that again, we are not having it, and we are having it tomorrow morning for breakfast.
Right.
And they got really sad.
An eternity away.
Yeah. They got really sad. And I said, do not ask me that question again, please. I'm getting tired of answering yes.
Right.
So I'm going to answer no next time. So we're unloading the car, and the little 5-year-old is standing at the doorway, and she goes, Miss Sandy, I'm so excited to have a strawberry popsicle on the deck in my pajamas, aren't you? And I looked at her and just was like, yes, I am too. Let's get our pajamas on. Let's shower and get I'll meet you up there.
It was perfect.
So I just liked her, the way she
navigated that question.
Story to make sure I was still thinking that. Mm-hmm. So she didn't ask me the question. She was just telling me how excited. Aren't I excited?
Right.
So we get to all showered, pajamas, come running down, get to the freezer. I open up the freezer and they're watermelon.
Uh-oh.
Oh my God. Like to me, like popsicle, right? Like it doesn't matter. It's not strawberry. Like it's watermelon. I'm like, I don't want watermelon. I'm like,
oh no.
watermelon sugar high, because we were singing it the day before because we were talking about my mom singing it at the wedding.
Right.
So we started singing this, and all of a sudden their eyes got brighter and brighter. And we went upstairs and we ate the watermelon sugar high with the moonlight and sat on the deck. And I was like, eat those things. I'm going to bed. And
Perfect.
so they were happy.
Yeah.
They were happy. But just funny to have kids back in the house, just constant same.
Well, yeah. And it's like when you're that age, you remember being that age, it's nothing can come soon enough. Everything is taking way too long. Another coined phrase from our 5-year-old was, can we get there in 0 seconds?
Oh, I didn't hear that.
So I was telling her that it took 10 minutes to get from my boyfriend's back home. And she goes, can we make it take 0 seconds?
Oh, she's one of progressive thought. Yes, maybe it will one day.
Maybe we can teleport one day.
Oh, it was so fun.
It was such a great weekend.
Yeah.
We are exhausted moving into this next weekend, but it was so much fun. And kind of what the plan was to really get these wonderful memories for these two girls. This is like a big city for them. They kept saying Chicago is so fancy.
Yeah.
It's so fancy. Everything from the silverware to the buildings to, just the people that were dressed around. They were like, it's so fancy.
So that was our word on Friday, right? That we had a special word that we used a lot, right? So on Saturday, I said, girls, what is our word? And one of the girls said, they were throwing some words out while we were coloring. And the little 5-year-old goes, this coloring is so satisfying. I was like, oh
that's the word of the day.
I'm like, satisfying. That's it. We're going to use the word satisfying. Oh, hello. Just as many times as they asked the question.
Yes.
Is this water is so satisfying.
Yes.
And these potato chips are I am so satisfied. It was so cute how they used that word. Of course, the mom and the dad and the grandma and the grandpa and the brother, the uncles were just like, what?
Right.
Like, yeah, we're using the word
it's like an Instagram sensation where there's like full on accounts that have people like cutting up soap or I don't know, like pouring paint and mixing the paint, and it's called So Satisfying.
Oh, is that where she got it?
And but I don't think so. It's hard to say because I don't think a lot of kids would think that that's entertaining at all. It would be like they have to be cartoons and they have to be talking and they have to be going on adventures. But seeing someone mix a bunch of paint colors together, I don't think that they would find that satisfying.
But then today when we were like, okay, what's today's word? And so they wanted to use loco, right?
Like crazy.
And they're like, like crazy. And we're like, how about unique?
Yes.
So unique became our word today. And oh my gosh, just talking about that while we were eating breakfast. And this is so unique. This tastes unique. Anyway, it was really fun to have little energy, little big energy. Oh man.
Yes.
Little big energy. So all of my friends out there that have grandkids and I don't, I hear ya. I hear you how fun it is.
Well,
and I can hear you also say, okay, I'm going now.
Right. And it was funny because I got a message. So I saw my best friend's twins for the first time since they were born. They were born very premature, and they had been in the ICU for 3 months on, breathing tubes and feeding tubes and monitors. So in the NICU. And they finally are home, and I'm finally past the wedding enough and I'm, got all my vaccinations and everything so I can go see them. And I'm taking all these pictures. I'm posting it on social media. I'm so excited. And I am getting this flood of messages. Wow, Alex, congratulations. Oh. Wow, I can't believe it, because I don't post a lot on social media. And now everyone thinks that I was pregnant for this amount of time.
During
and
COVID.
I just had babies. So someone said to me that, because I had to correct her. She was like, wow, Alex, those are the cutest little girls ever. Are they yours? How have you been? And I said, hi, absolutely no, not my babies, but my best friends. And she says, lovely. All the snuggles without any responsibility. That is the best of both worlds. So that kind of reminds me of like grandkids. It's like as soon as you're like, okay, I've had enough of this little big energy. Here you go, mom and dad. You know,
your turn and your turn again and your turn. It's always your turn. In fact, you don't even get to turn. You stay right there as mom your whole life.
And then I guess coming around again to another thing that we just started, which was the Pink documentary. Pink is one of your favorite artists.
Yes.
And her documentary just came out on Netflix, and we're so excited to see the rest of it. We just haven't had enough time since we had people in from out of town. But and that's all about, her with her children. Yeah. And so I think it was fun. It was a very family-oriented weekend for sure. Mm-hmm. So I think that's all, unless you have any stories you want to share.
That's all I know so far.
That's the Pink documentary title. So we'll end with that. Thank you, everybody, for listening in to our crazy stories, and we will talk to you next week. Have a wonderful...
Sign up for the Talisman.
Jupiter and Pisces Talisman
seriously,
event.
folks.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.
And the search ends here, where the night is totally clear, and your heart is fierce, and so you finally know you control